May tanong ka ba sa kalusugan mo? Marami ka na bang nakakausap na nagsasabing baka malala na ang sakit mo? May mga nalalaman ka ba sa social media na pareha sa nararamdaman mo at ngayon malala na ang sakit nila? Naku, ang dami nang namamatay sa maling akala. Eksperto dapat ang pinakikinggan mo. Tutukan ang DWIZ Manila at lahat ng DWIZ sa buong Pilipinas kasama ang social media ng DWIZ at manood syempre sa Aliw 23 Free TV. Manood, makinig at i-follow ang DOH Department of Health. Programang Malaking Help sa Health. Kasama sina Maru Pahati Sarne at si Bragi Braganza. Kasama ang mga totoong eksperto para tama ang impormasyong makuha mo. DWIZ DOH Department of Health.
Magandang araw. Ako po si Maru Pahatisay.
At ako naman po si Bragi Braganza.
Yes, kami nga dalawang inyong kasama dito sa
Department of Health.
At mamaya may mga kasama rin po tayo. Isang lifestyle medicine doctor.
Yun,
at gayon din isang lifestyle guru na magtuturo sa atin kung paano magagaling or matutulungan yung ating mga karamdaman through natural means. So,
okay.
Kasi minsan napapagod na rin tayo, kakainom ng gamot, iba, tapos kaya gusto natin may katulong yung mga gamot na iniinom natin.
Hindi lang nagre-rely ka sa medicine.
Yes, tama-tama.
I hope I said that right.
Cancer ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon at kung paano matutulungan ng tamang lifestyle. Ang prevention at pagkakaroon ng sakit na cancer. At ngayon, kasama po natin dito sa loob ng studio po natin, isa po siyang health advocate. At actually, siya isang Singaporean pero may pusong Pinoy. Oo, ang tagal na niya dito sa Pilipinas. At yan ay para tulungan yung ating mga kababayan. A veteran in the health industry, coach for holistic lifestyle approach. Bilang bahagi po ng SimplyNature International, nakatulong na po siya sa libo-libo mga tao na mabawi nila yung kanilang nawawala na o nasisira ng kalusugan over the past 20 years. Isang international speaker at narito po ngayon sa ating studio. Wala po iba kundi si Mr.Shyan Lim. Hi, Sean!
Hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm a Singaporean because I've been living here for 12 years as well.
Yeah.
Tagal na pala.
More fun in the Philippines.
Right.
He has established himself here for 12 years as a lifestyle coach.
Yes, my company, we actually work with doctors, and so we meet many patients in the area of cancer, metabolic syndrome. So, just like Dr.Jansen, who is here with us today.
Yes, oo. Yan nga, kasama natin ngayon, partner, ang isa pong doktor sa lifestyle. Kasi actually, isang specialization na rin yan yung lifestyle medicine. At si Dr. Jansen Calalan ay isang diplomate ng International Board of Lifestyle Medicine at ng the Philippine College of Lifestyle Medicine, Dr. po sa SimplyHealed Medical Group and Alta Integrative Medicine and Wellness Complex sa Perpetual Health Medical Center dyan sa Las Piñas. Ang minamanage niya mga pasyente po
with cancer.
na may cancer. Mga kaibigan, narito po sa loob din na ating studio, Dr. Jansen Calalan.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Doc.
Magandang hapon sa inyo.
Magandang hapon, yeah.
Ayan, si Doc Jansen ang talagang Pinoy na Pinoy.
Pinoy na Pinoy. Pero Asian looking din.
Oo nga eh.
So, I look more Pinoy than you.
Oo nga eh.
Yeah.
Actually, mas pagkakamalaki tayo, tinatagalog ko nga kanina si Sean eh. Singaporean pala. Pero hindi ka pa marunong magtagalog.
Okay, no, nosebleed now. You must nosebleed for me. I don't know what you're saying.
even one word.
Okay, I know maganda and grabe. I love that word.
Grabe expression, yeah, grabe.
Yeah. But you don't understand a thing that I said just a while ago.
I don't know what you're saying.
I was just saying so you still don't know how to speak Tagalog.
Yeah, because Filipinos speak great English. So that takes a lot of pressure off me.
Yeah.
Everyone speak great English.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Yeah. And everybody sings.
Yes. I was so shocked when when I saw your congressmen and senators. They can sing, they can dance. No, in Singapore, they can use the calculator very well.
I know.
Yeah.
We have our own talents and abilities,
Yeah.
right?
Everybody loves to sing.
Oo, pero ngayon ang pag-usapan po natin, we will talk about how we deal with cancer patients. Kasi Dr. Jansen Calalan, dahil yan yung iyong mga pinagtutuunan ng pansin, marami sa ating mga kababayan, kapag nagkaroon ng sakit sa cancer, minsan binabaliwala na lang nila. Minsan nga hindi na ipinagagamot. Pinaubayan na lang nila sa fate. Diba?
Yeah.
Yung kanilang kapalaran. O iniisip nila na mawawala rin ito. Pero hindi. Oo.
May kilala akong ganun. Parang they're looking forward to the
End na lang.
to end na lang. Parang doon din naman papunta, but they did not prioritize on what can we do to make her live some more.
Ayan.
And,
totoo.
have that bonding and enjoy the relationship between the
Oo.
family members, mga ganun.
Kasi takot sila doon sa treatment, like chemotherapy, Doc, di ba? Ang daming takot sa chemotherapy.
Yes, actually, it's very prevalent, especially here in the Philippines. Although if you take a look at the Western countries, they tend to shy away from chemotherapy already. Chemotherapy is actually, hindi na siya first line eh. It's already something that you consider if nothing else works anymore. So, however, unfortunately, here in the Philippines, resources are still limited. And because of the very high cost, very expensive new medications, we tend to go for chemotherapy instead, no? Especially in the far-flung areas, in the provinces. So that's what's unfortunate. And another unfortunate thing is that there are also a lot of misconceptions with chemotherapy. Now, one example, no? Malalagas yung buhok.
That's not true. Is that a myth?
Not all cancer patients who undergo chemotherapy
Will lose hair.
Oo, so hindi lahat.
Not all.
Yeah. Say for example, my grandmother had 2 cancers. So one breast, another endometrial. Both cancers, she underwent chemotherapy. Not once did she lose hair. Okay? And it's just that ang isa pang something baffling is Filipinos tend to prioritize their looks more than their physical, their health. Matatagal mo yung
Tatakot
bukol.
sila, oo.
Probably, secondary, probably they're more worried di baka malagas yung buhok ko, ganyan.
Or baka pumangit ako,
O
ganyan.
teka, hindi natin nakikita sa camera si Doc eh. Baka kailangan siyang pumunta dito sa kabilang upuan. Ayan.
Ayan na, meron na.
Okay na?
Yeah.
Okay na ba? Oo.
There. Okay, bring it
Hindi pa
back.
rin, oo. So saan natin ilalagay si Doc?
Ayan na, kita na siya.
Nakikita na si Doc. Parang
Ito,
medyo hindi pa.
adjust lang.
Adjust lang siguro papunta kay Mr. Shyan. Okay. Ayan, very good.
Ayan.
Kasi pogi pa naman ni Doc, sayang. Di natin nakikita. Oo.
There you go.
Ayan, okay na.
Yun, okay.
Yeah, so you were saying na yung mas ang kanilang concern yung makakalbo sila.
Yung looks nila.
At tsaka Doc, sinasabi rin nila mahihilo, yung masusuka, di ba? Yung mga...
That's also something one of the reasons why people tend to shy away from chemotherapy is the side effects, which is actually very valid. Kasi when you undergo treatment, suka ka na suka, hindi ka makakain. So lalo ka manghihina, right? So that's one thing na makes them decide not to go for the chemotherapy already, then just decide for natural treatment. However, I found actually some ways, some strategies on how you can mitigate yung side effects through natural means, not just through medications, just through food and diet. Since you're kakain ka lang rin, might as well eat the right foods.
I-modify na.
You change. And prior to even starting chemotherapy or radiation therapy for that matter, we prepare patients already so that once they are on the treatment, they can breeze through the treatment easily. So
So, Dok, hindi mo naman sinasabing huwag kayong magpa-chemotherapy, huwag na kayong uminom ng mga gamot, mag-natural na lang. Ang sinasabi mo dito, go on with what your oncologist said.
Yes, because oncologists, syempre, these are cancer specialists. They have guidelines, very strict guidelines when it comes to cancer treatment. They know the medications, what will work, what will not work. Of course, it is important we still follow their advice. However, the thing is, reality is, side effects are there. So we have to find out some ways on how we can help patients reduce their side effects so that matapos nila yung treatment. And if they do finish their treatment, their overall survival, meaning the amount of time that they live on after cancer diagnosis is longer. And you also prevent or make the amount of time that they are cancer-free or they are in remission longer. Yeah, so completing the treatment is very important. Unfortunately, again, only 30% actually of cancer patients are
Live.
able to finish
Oh,
the
okay.
treatment.
But what
So,
happens in between?
they give up because of the side effects.
Oo nga.
Wow.
Or they don't give up, it's just that the treatment is not applicable for them anymore because of complications. Immune system bumabagsak.
Oo.
If your immune system goes down, you cannot give chemotherapy or else you kill the patient.
Oo.
You have to stop,
So you have
withdraw
to
the
stop,
treatment.
oo.
Yes.
Wow.
So, anong ina-advise mo, Doc, doon sa mga nag-undergo ng chemotherapy? Ano yung lifestyle modification na sinasabi mo, Doc?
Yes. Actually, I have four no, very important things that I always tell the patient. Number one is nutrition. You have to eat right. Okay? So, what is the best diet for a cancer patient? General approach is to avoid animal protein because animal protein can make tumors grow. And also, no, not just animal protein per se. There are also other chemicals in preparing the meat products, in preparing these foods that sourced from animals para for the general public's consumption. These substances, we don't know, no, some of them might cause cancer or some of them might be cancer promoting substances. We don't know, but we have to consider that
Yung mga may
possibility, no?
preservatives.
Preservatives, exactly.
We have to
Sugar.
avoid
Habang-
them.
Yes.
About yung masugar, oo.
Yes, because cancer cells also feed on sugar. So you have to be able to mitigate yung blood sugar level as well after you eat. Diba? So you cannot eat processed carbohydrates. Ayan na, papasok yung pastries, yung chips,
Oo nga.
candies, ice
Goodbye.
cream. These are
I
foods.
said goodbye to them last week.
You had to!
I mean, these are foods that we all love. Aaminin ko, I also love them. However, of course, if you have cancer already or if you want to prevent cancer, malakas yung family history of cancer in the family, no? Then you have to make sure that you're eating correctly. So yun, sugary foods, processed meat. Processed meat is actually classified by the WHO as a carcinogen. It causes colorectal cancer.
Yeah.
Not just that, no? There are also others like breast, prostate. And not just cancer, other diseases as well, like your heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver disease, these things. So halo-halo siya dyan.
Wow.
So these are foods that you have to avoid, no? What are the foods that you have to eat?
Okay, sige, let's go there.
Yeah. So, 4 food groups. So, you have your fruits, you have your vegetables, whole grains. Ang whole grains na very common sa Pilipinas will be brown rice, red rice, black rice, oatmeal.
But not white rice, right?
Not white.
Yeah.
Yes, because white, bago siya naging puti, brown muna yan. What they did is to polish the rice. So how do they do that? They remove the outer covering. Yun yung outer covering, yun yung fiber. That is where the nutrients are, and that is what we remove.
Yep.
So what is left is just carbohydrates. So very low in fiber. Your body will absorb the sugar very fast. So ang result is spike in blood sugar.
That's why.
So
So no to white rice.
Para magkamag-anak na ang diabetes at cancer
yes, actually the risk factors
They are
are yes, the risk
relatives
factors
already.
are similar.
Uh-uh.
When you take a look at the dietary risk factors, parehas sila. Yes, parehas. So the advice for cancer patients, the advice for patients with hypertension, heart disease, fatty liver disease or any other metabolic disease is the same. Okay? Yun. So it becomes very simple in this regard kasi you're not just talking about or you're not just tackling cancer lang. You're also
Itself, yeah.
addressing the other
Yes.
diseases that might have contributed to the patient developing cancer in the first place. Yun.
Wow.
So what else?
Konektado pala lahat.
Yes.
Yeah, they're connected.
Yeah. Lifestyle diseases.
Yeah.
We have
Actually,
a we have a tip though, because I notice many Filipinos don't like red rice or brown.
Yeah.
It's like
they say that you're like eating paper.
But there's a tip. There's a tip because I used to love white rice, but my wife makes me eat the brown rice. So what you do is you just soak the rice for at least 1 hour.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So that means before you cook, you soak it for. Usually we just wash the rice.
Right,
diba?
that's what
And
we
then
do.
cook.
Yeah.
But if you soak it for at least 1 hour, when you cook it, it'll be soft. So it will be almost like white rice with a bit of a chewiness.
So soak
So
it
actually, it
for
turns
an
out to
hour.
be nicer than white rice.
Is this red?
Yeah, red or brown
Okay.
rice, you can do that. So you can try that because normally most people cook red rice like white rice. You wash it,
And then
then you
cook
cook.
it.
Yeah, right away.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It tastes awful.
Yeah.
So this is a tip.
Yeah. Another one,
Okay.
another tip is you can actually mix white and brown
Yes.
together. If say for example, you are pressed for time, nagmamadali. Let's say for example, papasok sa office. You cannot wait 1 hour, you'll be late.
Yeah.
Di ba? So what you can do is mix white and brown. So 1/3 should be white.
You know, Doc, I've not tried. Maybe we should try. Try to soak it overnight.
Both?
And then cook it the next morning, right?
Yeah.
You never
The brown
know because
rice.
the red
Yeah.
rice is. I don't think it'll become soggy. I think it'll still be
Yes.
like that. So we can try that for those who cook breakfast.
Prepare it
and bring
over,
to work.
the night before.
Yeah, just soak it the night before.
But does that mean that red, black, and brown rice still have the carbohydrates inside?
Definitely,
yes.
So
All of
it
them?
can still raise your blood sugar if you take in too many. If
Yes,
you eat,
yes.
Yeah.
So there's a
So how much rice should
Yes.
they be taking?
1 cup.
there's a
No, one cup.
Not 1 cup.
actually it depends. It depends on the appetite of the person.
Yeah.
So
And
what,
the activity.
yeah, what I tell my patients is that so we have 4 food groups, diba? Yeah, we just went to number 3, which is whole grains. There's number 4, which is legumes. Legumes are beans, nuts, and seeds. So imagine for our listeners, imagine your munggo.
Munggo.
Imagine your sunflower seeds, sesame seeds.
Sitaw,
chia
kasama ba
seeds,
dun?
Sitaw, yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Baguio beans. What
I
else?
don't like
Green
beans.
or black beans, itong mga to. These are the foods where you get your protein. So now,
Okay.
you have 4 major food groups.
Not from meat.
Not from meat.
Yeah.
Really not from meat. So you have 4 major food groups. So imagine your plate, di ba? Bilog yan. Divided into 4. 1/4 should be fruits, 1/4 whole grains, 1/4 legumes, or your beans, nuts, and seeds, and 1/4 vegetables. So
There's no rice.
Yes.
Nasaan si rice?
That's si rice. Oh. That's what Pinoys look for. Saan kanin?
Yeah.
Rice
Yeah.
should be in the whole grains. 1/4 lang yan naman ng plato.
okay.
So it's not even 1 cup.
Oh, no.
It really depends
Yeah.
on how much you can eat.
Okay.
Do you know in Singapore, I was so shocked when I first came to Philippines because in Singapore KFC walang rice,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
You just serve the
You
chicken.
just have
Just
bread
chicken with
and
potato
bread.
and the bun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so delicious with the gravy and rice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned to eat rice
In the Philippines?
but yeah, I think white rice is the worst choice. Doc, you mentioned a few colors, right? You've mentioned
Okay, yeah.
black, red, brown. Which is the best?
Red. According
red
to
ang best.
Let me buy red.
Yeah, according to the studies that I have read, when they were comparing, so they compared the 4, black, red, brown, and white. So the color of the grain is the antioxidant. Yan yung nutrient. So when they compared, they ranked versus cancer. Number 1 is red. Followed by black, followed by brown, and then white was nothing.
It doesn't have any value.
Did not even affected the growth of the cancer. However, for red, it was able to stop the growth or the multiplication of cancer
Wow.
cells.
So, kung kunyari red, ganun din 1/4 din lang.
Yes,
Ah,
1/4.
okay. Wait,
1/4 ng ano?
Oo,
Ng
1/4
plate?
ng plate mo.
Ah,
Oo,
yeah.
Oo. Teka, sandali,
sige.
magpaalala muna tayo kasi magagat na sa atin si Fred. Kaya, magbabalik Nagbabalik naman po mga kaibigan ng Department of Health.
Kasama sina Maru Pahati Sarne at si Bragi Braganza. Kasama ang mga totoong eksperto. DWIZ. DOH. Department of Health.
Okay, we're back right now on Department of Health.
Health. Balikan po natin ang ating mga bisita, isa pong lifestyle medicine doctor, si Dr.Jansen Calalan, at isang health and lifestyle advocate, si Mr.Shyan Lim. O, pinag-usapan natin yung mga diet modification.
And kanina, during the break, tinatanong ko sa kanila yung rice. Because we mentioned earlier that there's like red, brown, black, and then the least is white. So I asked about biryani, that Indian grain.
Hindi ba white yun?
Yes.
Ang
Yeah.
biryani. Oo.
Sabi nila kasi, wala daw sugar yun. Pero meron din pala.
Meron.
Oh.
As long as it's carbohydrate, it's sugar.
Yeah.
The difference
oo.
is the amount of fiber
Yeah.
that it contains.
But how about the fruits?
Yes, the fruits
Oh,
is
that's a good one.
allowable. Okay, now here's the thing. Diba, pag kinain natin ang prutas, ay matamis, ayaw na natin. Okay? The difference between fruits and yung mga sweets na kinakain natin is that the fruits contain fiber. Aside from the fiber, it has a lot of nutrients, vitamins, your minerals, your antioxidants. Sugar doesn't have that. Okay, not just sugar, yung mga candies, pastries, and all of these, wala siyang nutrients. So, if you compare the two, you have to eat the fruits. Also, why is fruits very important? Because fruits have nutrients na wala doon sa ibang food groups na nabanggit ko. So, there are nutrients found in fruits na wala sa vegetables, wala sa whole grains, wala sa beans, nuts, and seeds. So, in order for you to get the complete nutrients, and vitamins, no, for that matter, you have to also eat the fruits. Now, paano yung sugar?
Yeah.
Di ba tataas yun?
Oo nga.
Now, again, it has fiber. So, even if it is sweet tasting, pagpasok sa loob ng tiyan, since mataas ang fiber niya, hindi yan, yung sugar content, hindi niya ma-absorb agad-agad.
Ng katawan.
Ng katawan, ma-absorb. So, yung influence ng prutas sa blood sugar, hindi kasing lala nung refined carbohydrates, so yung mga sweets. Okay? So, that's the difference. Yeah. And
Eh, di ba
also,
kasi may fructose din daw yung yung
fruits.
prutas? Oo.
Like, but yun nga, fiber is key. Because fiber acts like a sponge.
Oo.
So it holds the
Oh.
carbohydrates together. So,
Before your body absorbs it.
yes.
Eh, pero Doc, bakit may ibang diabetologists or other doctors na nagsasabi na isang pisngi ka lang ng mangga, sa bawat araw?
Because it's so sweet.
Yes, because of the sugar content. So for cancer patients and for diabetics as well, no, ang allowable po natin is just 1 serving per meal. And 1 serving is half a cup. So that's very few lang. So
Oo.
half a cup would be approximately isang maliit na saging. Or isang maliit na mandarin orange, yung pongkan. Maliit lang. Ganun lang.
Ganun lang, konti.
So kahit na sabi mo nga, they are healthy, they are fibrous, but then meron din talaga siyang fructose or sugar which can harm
It's
your
still there,
body. Oo, if you have cancer or if you have diabetes na.
Well, not really harm your body, no? But it is there. So, yung effect ng sugar ng fruits will just be counteracted by the antioxidants that it has. Yeah. So, in order for you to get more nutrients from it, you have to also eat the other plant foods.
Ayun, so talagang balanse.
Balance pala. Oh.
Balance.
And also, I've heard from other people, I don't know if some doctors mentioned this, that when you eat, you should start eating veggies or fruits. Because when the fiber sets in, it stops the sugar from setting in first.
Correct.
Tama ba yun?
Correct.
So, kailangan gulay talaga, may gulay
Yes,
muna. Oh.
yes.
And gulay muna ang kainin before the meat and or
Yes,
the
yes,
rice or
correct.
something.
Okay.
Una siya.
So parang yun yung appetizer mo.
Yes,
That's the trick,
nice.
yeah.
Yes, that's the trick. So, if you are someone who loves meat, who cannot give up meat,
Eat the salad first.
eat the vegetables first,
Okay.
Salad ka
and
muna.
last ang meat products.
So kailangan pala bago ka mag-steak, mag-spinach ka muna.
Gulay ka
diba?
muna, yeah.
Oh,
Interesting. Yeah.
And also, if you find it very difficult to eat vegetables, but you're not a cancer patient, one thing you can do is learn some really good recipes. My mother-in-law, her vegetables are delicious because she puts, with her sitaw, giniling.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Ground meat, yeah.
Yeah, ground meat. Just put a little bit, maybe just a teaspoon, tablespoon.
Konti lang.
Your mother-in-law is Filipina.
No, she's Chinese.
Oh, Chinese.
Alright.
Oh.
But you know, I used to be 100% carnivore. So learning to eat more vegetables is so difficult because
I
we think
know.
we all have to live a horrible life. Everything no taste, diba?
Right.
Yes. No, it's not true.
Walang lasa.
Yeah. So I always
Haluan mo na lang.
I always share with Dr. Jansen. I don't like to go to vegan restaurants because the idea is that the food there is
Tastes
it's a
like carton.
copycat of the you know
The real thing.
of the real things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a mimic, yeah.
The real advice to go vegetables is this: go to your favorite restaurant, but pick the vegetable meals. Right? You go to Din Tai Fung, then you can order their
Order
sweet
po
duck.
chai.
Yeah, right. So it's cooked in a way that you are used to, that you like, and it has a little bit of maybe they put some giniling on your vegetables, and it's a easier first step than to say, you know, I totally cut my
Remove,
meat.
yeah.
Then I need to go and find a vegan restaurant. It's very difficult, and when it's difficult, you give up.
Yeah, I
Right?
know.
If it's difficult, you give up.
So I'd rather have an ice cream. Just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
Biglang ice
Sugar
cream.
din yan, di ba?
Hindi,
Yan
joke
ang
lang. If you
problema.
can't eat
Oo.
vegetables, eat ice cream. No, but
Yeah.
that's a joke. Yeah.
But there's another thing about fruits, though. I noticed that every time when we say fruits are good, people will always use health statements as an excuse. Then they start drinking fruit juice.
Which has a lot of sugar.
And fruit juice is terrible because there's no fiber in there. They strained it out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wala pala.
So the
Yung
sugar
pulp, di
gets
ba,
absorbed.
tinatapon yung sapal? Tinatapon, oo. Eh, yun yung fiber. That's where the fiber
So
is.
we got it. So I hope the audience also understand the fiber acts like a sponge. So if you really want a fruit drink, smoothie lang.
Smooth.
Because they put the
Kasama
whole
pa rin yung,
fruit,
oo,
they don't
yung
strain
pulp.
it out, di ba? They throw the whole apple, the mango, they
Yeah.
blend it, everything is still there.
Pati
The
yung balat.
fiber.
Oo nga, smoothie. That's why they ask you, do you want the shake or the smoothie?
Yung pala yung smoothie, no?
Very
But,
important.
yeah.
Kasi some cancer patients cannot swallow. So
Very
they're
important.
they can only be fed through liquid, in liquid form. So that can be one form na you can still feed them.
Yeah. So instead of vegetable juice, right? Because some families may think we juice the vegetable. And
Yes.
there is also a lot of health fads that say juicing is good for you.
Is
right?
it?
No, smoothies are good for you.
Aren't good or good?
Good.
Good smoothies.
Smoothies are good for you. Juicing, not necessary, because a lot of the important nutrients are found in the
Vegetable, the fruit.
yeah. You know that
Yeah.
leftover stuff when you do juicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very precious.
Dapat
That's
na
where the
kinakain
Dapat
mo.
kasama pala yun, even the skin?
So it's always better, like vitamin C. Everybody knows vitamin C is good, right? Even cancer patients, they think they need to eat vitamin C. But if you eat vitamin C, I think less than 2 hours, everything is in your urine.
It goes out.
It goes out. They discovered that the white part of the orange that you eat, it contains bioflavonoids, and that preserves the vitamin C in your body for more than 2 hours.
Oh,
Okay.
it stays there.
It stays there.
Oh.
So you see, when
Wow.
we just take like the juice and we throw away all the other
Yeah.
stuff, we don't really get
The nutrients.
the nutrients.
Did you say
But if you are
flavonoids?
bioflavonoids,
Bioflavonoids,
yeah.
yes.
But if you are diabetic, you just have to take half a cup.
Yeah, don't take too much.
Yeah.
Half a cup would be enough already. However, for diabetes,
Konti.
ang konti
Yeah.
lang.
Oo nga,
lang, oo.
bitin.
How about an apple?
That has to be, kailangan half cup lang. So if your apple goes over, well, reaches 1 cup, then you have to reduce.
Yeah. But just one fruit a day. You can't have half cup of apple, half
you can.
cup of... yeah.
Pwede.
You can
Okay.
have
several?
different-
Ah,
you can
okay.
have
So
different
let's have a fruit
things.
salad.
Yeah. So
Akala ko.
the thing is, dapat ang fruits is half cup lang.
Total in total.
For the meal.
For the day.
meal,
For the meal,
for
okay.
one
But you can take
meal.
it for snack.
Okay.
Pwede rin.
Okay na ako.
First time.
Sige. Go.
We can have more fruits later.
Yeah. But how about soya? Kasi they have been
That's a good
talking about
question.
this one na nasabi cancerous daw, yung mga tofu,
Talaga, may ganun.
yung soy sauce.
I used to love
Oo.
tofu.
Totoo ba yan?
That's actually a myth.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not true. Okay.
It's not true because if you take a look at population studies, okay, populations around the world na mataas ang soy consumption, they tend to have the lower cancer rates compared to the population na mataas na bababa ang soy consumption. I'll give you an example. US have very low soy consumption.
High dairy.
High dairy. They have very high cancer rates compared to Asian countries like Japan. Let's include the Philippines, no?
China.
Southeast Asia, China,
Southeast Asia.
South Korea. They tend to have lower rates of cancer compared to the Western countries because we eat soy. And more importantly, another myth there is yung soy has estrogen.
Yeah,
So,
they always say that causes breast cancer, gout pain.
Yeah.
So, Doc, you can clear this up today.
Oh, sige, yeah.
once and for all, okay?
Para malaman ninyo lahat.
Love ko ang tofu.
So we have
So I can start
what we
eating
call,
tofu again.
Yeah. We have what we call estrogen, di ba? So breast cancer, kapag hormone receptor sensitive yan, when your estrogen can stimulate its growth. Okay? So, however, soy has a different form of estrogen.
It's
So
a plant
we call
estrogen.
it plant estrogen. So in a more technical term, phytoestrogen siya. Phytoestrogen or the plant estrogen is different from the animal estrogen that we have. Breast cancer cells are sensitive to the animal estrogen, but not to the phytoestrogen.
Okay.
Now, if you consume soy, so you eat phytoestrogens, ano ang function niya when it comes to breast cancer? Remember, itong mga breast cancer cells na to, may mga receptors sila. So, they are called estrogen receptors. Now, when the estrogen molecule, pag nag-attach siya dun sa estrogen receptor, that will stimulate the growth, di ba? The function of phytoestrogen is to block that attachment. Haharangan niya yung receptor, tatakpan niya yung receptor para yung estrogen ng katawan mo hindi kumapit dun sa cancer cell. So, in that way, it mitigates the growth of breast cancer. Now, this is in theory. Will it translate clinically, in real life? Mangyayari ba siya? They also found breast cancer patients who consume soy versus those breast cancer patients who do not consume soy. When they undergo chemotherapy, those who consume soy live longer versus those who don't.
Wow.
So this is
Yes.
totally opposite from what we hear
Yes,
say, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and for cancer patients, it's not just important for us to be able to remove the tumor or shrink the tumor. What's more important is the patient lives longer and lives comfortably. Kasi even if you remove the tumor, na-dissolve yung tumor, pero ang buhay ng pasyente umikli, buwan na lang, what's the use? Diba?
Oh, yeah.
It would be better
That's
for
what counts. To live longer.
Yeah.
The quality of your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really.
So even if you think about it, it would be better for a cancer patient to still have that tumor on his or her body and live long comfortably versus remove the tumor, remove everything, dissolve it, and then you live shorter. Diba? So
Kasi parang nandun yung thinking ng tao, may tumor ka, patanggal mo yan. Puro ganun. And then they ask for the procedure and whatever. Yeah.
So we titimbangin din natin what's right for the patient at that moment in time, yung season, at what age the patient is. Yeah, we also have to consider that.
So, hindi rin kailangan patanggal yung buong breast, no? Oo.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
why would you, if the patient is already 80 plus years old?
Yes, there's no point. And the saddest stories that I hear of patients that we meet is the ones that have survived the first round of cancer. I think everybody will be quite shocked that we always think if we get cancer, we just beat it. I'm safe. In Singapore, when you have an insurance coverage for cancer, it's minimum 2. That means that insurance company expects you to get cancer twice.
Yeah, twice.
All right. So that
Wow.
means if you buy a special cancer coverage, you will get it. You have the coverage for twice. If you spend more money, it's 3 times. Okay. But I think it's so important for cancer patients. If it's this the first time, you gotta know that your fight is not just a one-time fight.
True.
Yeah, because the saddest thing is when you see someone, a mother will come up and cry and say, Shyan, what did I do wrong? I followed everything, and then I was cancer-free.
Yeah.
You know, I lost
then,
my hair, but
yeah.
it started to grow back. I went for the operation. I did all the went through all the radiation, the chemotherapy, but you know, it was worth it because I got well.
survived, yeah.
I got well, and they told me I'm cancer-free. 8 months later, now they tell me my cancer has
It's
spread
back.
to the brain, to the lungs, to my bones. And she said, "What did I do wrong?" You know, and that's the very, you know, when you thought you won, and then that's like pulling the rug under your feet, diba? So, yeah, I told
It's
her.
sad.
Yeah, I told her you didn't do anything wrong. It's correct. That's why you had victory the first time. The issue is you did not do enough.
Okay, alamin natin kung ano yung dapat pa na
Ano
gagawin.
yung enough
Oo.
na yun?
Oo.
Oo.
Mag-break muna tayo para sa ating kitchen medicine.
Mga gamot na within your reach sa Kitchen Medicine.
Pagkain ng broccoli, nakakatulong nga ba para mabawasan ang pagkakaroon ng cancer? Alamin! Ang broccoli ay mayroong natural vitamins at minerals tulad ng fiber, vitamin C, K, iron, potassium at high amount of phytochemical na tinatawag na sulforaphane. Mayroon din itong carotenoids na isang uri ng antioxidants na pinoprotektahan at pinapalakas ang immune system. Mayroon din itong glucosinolates, folate o vitamin B9 at flavonoids na tumutulong na protektahan ng katawan dulot ng inflammatory, vascular, cardiometabolic at digestive diseases. Ang mga health benefits na ito ay tumutulong upang mapababa ang pagkakaroon ng cancer, gaya ng prostate, breast, colon at oral cancer. Dahil ang broccoli ay tinatawag na cancer-fighting plant. Ayon sa mga eksperto, ang pagkain ng broccoli 3 times a week ay nababawasan ng 50% ang pagkakaroon ng risk ng iba't ibang sakit tulad ng heart disease, irritable bowel syndrome, gastrointestinal illness at high blood pressure. Kaya't ugaliin ang pagkain ng broccoli dahil ang balanced diet with vegetables ay kayang baguhin ang iyong health forever.
Mga gamot na within your reach sa Kitchen Medicine. Kasama sina Maru Pahati Sarne at si Bragi Braganza. Kasama ang mga totoong eksperto. DWIZ, DOH, Department of Health.
Okay, balik po tayo sa Department
Department
of
of
Health. Kasama po natin siyempre sina Dr.Jansen Calalan, si Mr.Shyan Lim,
And their
and Jermaine.
Jermaine,
Tama ba,
yeah.
Jermaine o Jermaine?
or Jermaine.
Oo. Anyway, sila ay mula sa isang kumpanya na tinatawag na, how do you call your company?
Docs from SMG, medical group, and I'm from SimplyNature.
SimplyNature.
Actually, we have an advocacy. You know, what I realized is that people have strange ideas about what works for cancer and what doesn't. And we also realize something. When patients see their doctors, especially if they are from the province, they get quite intimidated. So they go into the office, they have many things that, like for example, if you have cancer and the doctor tells you have to go for surgery, you have to do chemotherapy, they just keep quiet. And then they go back home, and maybe our listeners today have that experience. You go home and you're afraid and you don't want to go chemotherapy. You ask your neighbor and they tell you who died because they went for chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Right? And how terrible it is. So you have all these things and you never get them answered. So that's why we got together and we answer people's questions every Thursday night. And that's how we ended up together. And yeah. And before the break, we were just talking about patients. Like, this is a very common question, right? How come my cancer came back? I spent millions, I got cured, and then how come it came back? Because when they started their whole cancer journey, they look for an oncologist. Okay? And when the oncologist is done with them, they pass them to a nutritionist. Sometimes before the oncologist, they go to an oncological surgeon. The surgeon cuts first, then you go for chemotherapy, then they pass you off to a nutritionist. But there is no one looking at the whole journey,
Okay.
right? There's no one that says, okay, who talks to your surgeon? How was the surgery? Okay, then when you're passed from your surgeon to your oncologist, and before your oncologist passes you off to the nutritionist, no one's getting feedback from the oncologist. So everybody is only planning for their segment of responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it, yes.
Yeah, so you actually need someone who looks at your whole cancer journey 5 years.
Like the overview of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you see, when you go for chemotherapy, why does the cancer come back? Because chemotherapy not only killed the cancer cells, it also hurt your immune system. So you successfully got rid of the gangsters, but you destroyed all the police stations along the way. So you're free of ruffians, you're free of the gangsters, but there's also no policeman left in your body. So as long as there's one little gangster who survived, he's gonna run free because there's no
Yeah.
one to catch him, no one to resist him. That is why 8 months later, your cancer comes
It's
back.
back.
So very important is that during you're going through your chemotherapy, your radiation therapy, what are you doing to prepare for the next stage? How to preserve as much of your immune system as possible. Now this is where it's a bit sensitive, but I think that's why we are here, so that we can give good advice.
Yes.
If you meet an onco, they will always tell you, don't take this, don't take that, just take chemotherapy. And we have to understand why. Every month there are 100 new supplements from direct selling company, network marketing company.
Yeah.
Your onco is not going to spend time wondering which one works and which one doesn't, which one conflicts with his chemotherapy, which one doesn't, right? So it's not his job. He's so busy meeting patients day in, day out. He doesn't know what's the new supplement out there. So what's the safest thing for him to say? Don't take anything,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
Right? So we're not angry with the onco, but you just gotta understand, during this phase, he's responsible for your life. He's very busy. He doesn't know whether this new brand of mangosteen, mango, or turmeric or whatever, whether that is safe or not. If he tells you go ahead and take it and then something goes wrong, the person who
will be
sold
blamed.
you turmeric is not responsible.
I know, it's
your
the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can we contact you, or how?
Oh,
do
you can
have
always go to our SimplyNature page, right? And you can simplynature.asia. And every Thursday night, we actually have a seminar from 7:30 all the way to 9. For 1 hour, Dr. Jansen and I will be answering your questions. So you can
Okay.
ask anything from gout to cancer. And of course, we would love to come back
Okay.
to DWIZ and answer as many questions.
Of course. And I'm sure you're going to be seeing them in our other episodes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Butika ni Tita.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. So, sayang kasi kulang na yung panahon natin
Yeah.
Kaya
It's
maraming
2 o'clock.
salamat.
Time came in so fast.
Mr.
Yeah.
Shyan Lim, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure being here.
And of course, Dr. Jansen Calalan, maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
lifestyle medicine doctor. Hanapin nyo lang sila sa Facebook. And of course, syempre kay Miss Jermaine. Thank you so
Hello,
much.
thank you.
Sa pangalan po ng ating executive producer na si Anton. At syempre dito sa ating mga kasamahan, sina Fred Belamala, ano pangalan? Jeneline.
Mercado.
Rico Hermoso. kay Constantino.
Gildian Reyes.
yeah.
And of course, news director natin, si Judith Estrada Larino.
Oo, at ang ating mga communication assistants, sino yung mga communication assistants natin?
Okay, Yasmin Pantaleon and
Si
Eliza
Eliza.
Quevedo. Thank you very much.
Ako po si Maru Pahati Sarne.
At ako naman po si Braggy Braganza.
Susunod na ang In the Heart of, ang
Negosyo. Yeah. Together with Lito
Lito
Gagli
Gagli.
and Mr. Jerry Seno Urbina Jr.
Bye!
Bye!
Buti ka ni Tita
Bye.
mamaya, 6 to 7. Bye!
May tanong ka ba sa kalusugan mo? Marami ka na bang nakakausap na nagsasabing baka malala na ang sakit mo? May mga nalalaman ka ba sa social media na pareha sa nararamdaman mo at ngayon malala na ang sakit nila? Naku, ang dami nang namamatay sa maling akala. Eksperto dapat ang pinakikinggan mo. Tutukan ang DWIZ Manila at lahat ng DWIZ sa buong Pilipinas kasama ang social media ng DWIZ at manood syempre sa Aliw 23 Free TV. Manood, makinig at i-follow ang DOH